On June 12, 2025, the skies above Ahmedabad, India were calm until 1:38 p.m. That's when Air India Flight AI171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, lifted off on what was supposed to be a routine journey to London Gatwick. But within just 30 seconds of takeoff, tragedy struck. With 242 people aboard, the aircraft climbed into the clear afternoon air. Then, something went horribly wrong. At barely 600 feet off the ground, the pilots issued a frantic mayday call. Eyewitnesses described the plane shaking, then dipping steeply. What should have been a smooth ascent quickly turned into a nightmare. Seconds later, the Dreamliner crashed, engulfed in flames, just beyond the airport perimeter. The impact site? A student hostel within the BJ Medical College campus in Meghani Nagar. Residents saw a fireball tear through the building. Black smoke poured into the sky as bodies and debris were flung across the ground. At least 5 students on the ground were killed. Over 50 others were injured. Of the 242 souls on board, there was one miraculous survivor, 40-year-old British Indian passenger Vishwash Kumar Ramesh. He had been seated in 11A next to an emergency exit. Despite burns and injuries, he recalled waking up surrounded by fire and bodies. In his words, "Someone grabbed me and put me in an ambulance." His survival is being called nothing short of extraordinary. Among the victims was former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, traveling to visit his daughter in the UK. The passenger list included 169 Indians, 53 Britons, 7 Portuguese citizens, and 1 Canadian. Families across the globe are now grieving a loss too sudden to comprehend. More than 500 rescue personnel, firefighters, NDRF teams, and medics rushed to the site. Burned wreckage was scattered across a 500-meter radius. DNA testing is now underway to identify remains charred beyond recognition. Ahmedabad Airport was temporarily shut down as investigations began. Leaders worldwide expressed shock. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called it heartbreaking beyond words. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and King Charles offered condolences for the British victims. US President Donald Trump described it as one of the worst aviation disasters in recent history. The aircraft was modern, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, considered one of the safest in the skies. Yet the flaps were retracting too early. The landing gear was still down. Investigators from India's AIB, the NTSB, and UK aviation boards are now reviewing black box data and cockpit voice recordings. What caused this high-tech plane to fail just after takeoff? This is the first fatal crash of a Boeing 787 in its 14-year operational history. It is India's deadliest aviation tragedy in over a decade, and it raises serious concerns about mechanical safety, pilot procedures, and emergency protocols in our skies. Studio microphone, closing, reflective tone. Ahmedabad's Flight AI171 was supposed to be a journey like any other, but in under a minute it became a global tragedy. A father's last flight, students caught in the crossfire, one man left behind to tell the tale. As the world grieves, families await the truth, and the aviation world braces for hard lessons ahead. For more updates on this developing story, subscribe, share, and stay tuned.